Hello and welcome to CBC News World. Thank you for tuning in today. This is Asher as your anchor, live from Toronto. We have a big broadcast tonight, but first, Elisa will interview a very lucky Canadian citizen who is going to tell us about Canada's history.
I'm currently interviewing a Canadian citizen named Krisha. She knows an abundant amount of information about Canada's long history.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure being here.
Let's get started. I heard that the English and French have greatly influenced Canada's language and religion. Can you tell us about that? Also, can you give us a summary of the establishment of Canada?
Sure. Let's start from the very beginning. Before settlers came, Canada was inhabited by Aborigines from about 1 million. After exploration, the Europeans started entering Canada. The establishment began in the 18th century. The French inhabited the St. Lawrence lowlands, and the French and English inhabited the coast of James Bay and Hudson Bay. The English were mostly Catholic, and the French were mostly Protestant. In 1608, Quebec was formed. After the American Revolution, many loyalists who were loyal to Britain moved to Canada, increasing the English-speaking population. In 1763, France handed Canada over to the British because the French lost the French and Indian War. From 1763 to 1867, Canada remained under British control, but on July 1st, 1867, Canada officially became the dominant of Canada. This event happened thanks to Charlottetown Conference and the Quebec Conference. The first Prime Minister of Canada was Sir John A. Macdonald. Since the colonizers of Canada were both French and English, their languages and cultures influenced the country.
I've also heard that Quebec is different from the rest of Canada. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, Canada is a bilingual country. Bilingual means the speaking of two languages. The two languages are French and English. Quebec was mostly controlled by the French colonizers, making the majority of their speakers francophones, while the majority of Canada is English. Due to this issue, there's a bunch of controversy about Quebec. Quebec follows the French. For example, they use the French language, culture, and even their schooling system.
Do you see that controversy? I've heard that there's an independence movie that Quebec is starting. Am I right?
Exactly. These problems make Quebec different from the rest of Canada. Quebec is like their own separate country. This feeling encouraged the independence movement. On the other hand, there's an abundant amount of consequences regarding the topic.
Can you tell us about those consequences?
Yes. Currently, Canada is the largest country in land area in the world, and it also contains a large population of citizens. Without Quebec, Canada's land area would shrink by 16%, and it would lose 7.4 million people. Quebec also controls a bunch to Canada's technology advances. Without Quebec, Canada would lose its place as one of the world's top nations.
Also, there are a lot of positive sides to the issue, right?
Exactly. Separatists, the independence movement supporters, reality about the two countries that can err. For example, Canada can get rid of some of its debt from Quebec. Canada can get rid of the French English language, and Quebec can become its own French nation.
What are the results of the voting of the independence movement?
Even though the independence movement was denied both times, the results were fairly close. In 1990, the first referendum ended in 41.5% of the citizens voting yes, and 56.5% of the citizens voting no. In 1995, a second referendum occurred. The results ended in 15.58% voting no and 49.42% voting yes, becoming the closest vote in all Canadian history. Thank you for having me here today.
No, thank you for sharing the history of Canada with us. Back to you, Asher.
go, Lisa. And now on location in Nishanth at Lake Erie.
Thank you, Asher. I'm standing here to talk about the water pollution that's harming the plants and animals located here. Here, over 360 chemical compounds have been identified in the lakes, many of them toxic chemicals that have destructed aquatic ecosystems. For example, various species of fish now suffer from tumors and lesions. Their ability to reproduce is in trouble. Populations of birds and mammals which depend on fish also seem to be on the decline. Some laws have already been passed to reduce the pollution in the Great Lakes. Ships could also have more leakage tests to stop chemicals from leaking. Back to you, Asher.
Thank you, Nishanth, for your research on the Great Lakes. And now, Ellie talking about air pollution in Canada.
Hello, and reporter Ellie here to talk to you about the air pollution and acid rain. Pollutants are released by things that burn fossil fuels like factory, cars, and other machinery. This creates smog and acid rain. Smog is when air pollution and fog mix, making a very dangerous and dirty air quality. Acid rain forms when pollutants go into the cloud, and precipitation has pollutants in it. The United States gives Canada the most pollution because they burn a lot of fossil fuels. Air pollution causes diseases and climate change. The greenhouse gases are making the planet hotter because there is a lot of pollution. To stop it, we use cleaner sources of energy like solar power and wind power. In the past, Kyoto Protocol lowered the greenhouse gases that Canada can use. The United States also can reduce their pollution so it doesn't come to Canada. Back to you, Asher.
Thanks for informing us on air pollution, Ellie. Our final reporter, Sabrina, at the Canadian Shield, near some forest to talk to us about deforestation and over-extraction. To you, Sabrina.
I am standing here, as you can see, with trees in but there is not many. That's because of deforestation. If we remove trees and don't plant new ones, then the web of life will become weaker. Remove one part of it, becomes weaker. This also relates to what Ellie said about climate change. The more trees we cut down and don't replace, the more carbon dioxide will be in the air because the trees can't produce a lot of oxygen. We also have to protect the minerals because they can cause destruction to all the plants and animals around us. If we extract too much minerals, then the environment will be damaged. The mining companies usually don't reclaim the land geography and the ecosystems here. To stop deforestation, we can make more agriculture, a miniature forest from scratch, and we can stop buying wood products. Also, the Canadian government has passed regulations to limit mining. This means less areas will be damaged. Back to you, Asher.
Thank you, Sabrina. Now, one of the most exciting topics on this broadcast tonight. We are interviewing Canada's Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, on CBC News World.
It's a great pleasure to be here, Asher.
Okay, let's get started. Who has the power to make laws in Canada?
Well, the central government and national government share power to make laws. We always try to compromise. We both get what we want. It's way better that way. Therefore, we are a federal government.
Well, that sounds better than previous countries we have interviewed. Sorry, I'm getting off topic. Are you a democracy, autocracy, or oligarchy? I hope it's not an autocracy because then I'm screwed.
We are a democracy. People elect the parliament and the parliament chooses the prime minister. This is a parliamentary democracy.
That sounds neat and organized. Okay, who is the head of state?
Our head of state system is kind of weird. Our head of state is Queen Elizabeth II of England.
Wait, what? I didn't expect that coming. Okay, next question. What does a prime minister do in Canada?
Well, the Prime Minister of Canada is the head of the executive branch of the Canadian federal government. The Canadian Prime Minister provides leadership and direction to the government with support of a cabinet which the Prime Minister chooses, Prime Minister's Office of Political Staff, the Privy Council of non-partisan public servants who provide a focal point for the Canadian public service. We are also cabinet leaders, party leaders, and occasionally go help the Parliament. The cabinet and I mostly run the executive branch.
What about the other two branches of government?
In the legislative branch, there is a parliament. Parliament has two parts. One is the Senate, while the other is the House of Commons. They make laws, and I approve it. The judicial branch has a Supreme Court and then some other smaller courts. The smaller courts are federal courts, provincial courts, and tax courts. Supreme Courts if a law is constitutional or not.
Thanks, Justin, for coming here. It is a great pleasure.
No problem.
We will go on a short commercial break. After the break, we will be talking about Canadian stereotypes.
Hello, and welcome to Air Canada. Air Canada is an airline that goes worldwide with its headquarters in Montreal. A sixth of the money you pay for flights goes to help the lovely country of Canada. A mixed economy in Canada makes sure nothing happens to you on the flight. We provide the best flying service to you. We have a lot of deals today. The demand is high, but we have a lot of supply, so our prices are cheap. Save 20% on Tango or Flex fares for travel to select destinations in Canada. Toronto International Pearson Airport in Ontario to Calgary International Airport in Alberta is $287. Toronto International Pearson Airport to Vancouver International Airport in British Columbia is $501. Toronto International Pearson Airport is to Halifax Stanfield International Airport is only $340. Toronto International Pearson Airport to Quebec City Jean Lesage International Airport is only $257. And many, many more deals. Hurry, offers don't last for long. Go online for more offers at aircanada.com.
Welcome back to CBC News World. Today, we will be interviewing Amber on Canadian stereotypes.
We'll be asking Amber questions about stereotypes, and she will answer. A famous stereotype is that you say A a lot. Is that true?
Yeah, so Americans say huh, Australians says etc. Every country has their version of A. We're sick of hearing about it. Let it go.
Do you actually live on a diet of back bacon and maple syrup?
You're just jealous. You know everything's better with bacon and maple syrup.
You only love the sport of hockey. Is this true?
While hockey is part of our culture, we're also fans of basketball, which we invented, lacrosse, which is our national sport, football, soccer, and curling.
Favorite fashion accessories at Toke. Why?
Because they're warm, and they come in endless array of colors and patterns and styles, and anyone can pull out that look, from youngers to olders. What national fashion accessory do you have that can do all that?
So wintertime, 11 months of the year. Do you agree?
Okay, it's winter, from December-ish to March-ish. That's about 4 months, people. We also have 3 other seasons, and summer can be scorching up there. Yep, our igloos melt, and we live in actual houses during the warmer months.
Do you live amongst the polar bears?
I have never seen a polar bear in my entire life except for at the zoo, and that was in Florida. End of story.
Everyone knows each other. True or not?
You're from Canada? Do you know Dave Smith? There's over 33 million people in our big country of ours. So no, the likelihood that I know Dave Smith is pretty slim.
Everyone's extremely polite. Do you agree?
Yeah, I have met no one in Canada that's from Canada and not polite. I have lived there in Canada, and we have 3 ranks of people. Super nice, kind of nice, and not Canadian. Guys, everyone loves Canada. The only stereotypes I heard are this one, maple syrup, and the hockey thing. But there's nothing really bad about those things. The point is, we Canadians are so awesome and nice that we're making friendly jokes about you. Don't worry, we'll always love you. It's just a thing. I mean, look at USA stereotypes. Wouldn't you rather be accused of being polite than being fat, stupid, and racist? Thank you and sorry. Canadians are known for saying thank you and sorry way more than other cultures. Almost too much sometimes, but that's how we're raised. We're raised to be polite.
Thank you.
Wow, that was interesting. Well, that is all for today's broadcast on Canada. Signing off from the CBC News World, this is Asha Beha. See you next time on CBC News World.